to in infrastructure issues to everything. There's just so much. So the again, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Abuja Kano Road, and the Second Niger Bridge. They're saying those are the areas where the funds will be directed at. Let's see here. Dio from Surulere. Good morning, folks. Has the state governor who made a legal claim to some of these recovered funds been settled? Ah, yes, yes, very good question. Because that was part of what held this money up. I understand that yesterday, what was it now? There was a warning from the United States that this money had to be used in the money had to be used according to the agreement that was signed. So I don't think so because based on, again, that's why I'm reading verbatim what is coming from the Attorney General's Minister of Justice Office, Abubakar Malami's office here. He said that again, according to the 2020 Asset Return Agreement. So this is an agreement that was signed in February between the United States, Nigeria, and the Bailiwick of Jersey. It's going to go to the CBN recovery. Asset recovery designated account, and it's going to be paid to the National Sovereign Investment Authority. So it doesn't look like he's going to get the money. I think because I think the Americans, I think even the UK jumped in and they said no, we're not. He's not getting this money. It is has to. So I think they put in all these conditions in order for us to get the funds back. Which is why, because I was like, why are you setting up a project monitoring team? You already have the number of agencies that can monitor. The CBN can monitor the money. The who else? The Ministry of Finance can monitor the money. Anybody can set up a team. But so I think that according to this asset return agreement, by that term alone, it suggests he's not getting the money, and then which is why they spelled all this out. Now they said that there will be continuous monitoring of the funds, and so yeah, Dio, it doesn't look like he's getting the funds because I don't think they would have given us the money if it had gone back to him. Although again, if we are to be uh, look at both sides of the arguments, according to the federal government of Nigeria, there was an agreement in place for him to get that money based on something that was agreed way back when. So the federal government was trying to adhere to that, but the Americans and the Jerseyans, I don't know if it's Jerseyans, but they said no, this money must go here. So I think those are the conditions under which we got it back. Adinka and Festa said, is it every time we get a loan or recovery money that we budget again for the Lagos Ibadan Expressway? I'm confused. Adinka, myself, I'm confused. When you start a project finance, you model how much you do your models, you look at how much it will cost,
Yes.
payback period, all that good stuff, and you know when the project will be completed.
And it goes with everything in life.
Exactly.
The
So
personal
how
level.
this thing, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, is this forever project that just doesn't seem to want to end?
Benga
Let's see.
Kamu
Yeah,
is asking how long it will take the government to finish the
thank
work
you. It's
on
the
Lagos
same thing.
Ibadan
It's the
Expressway.
same thing Benga is saying. Same thing that Adinka is saying. This Lagos Ibadan Expressway is just included our monorail. And these are the things that
Oh,
we
there
keep
was
saying.
that.
That one,
Sometimes
the blue line.
we
Or
forget. Is it blue, yellow,
there's
red?
the three of so colors. We just up on with all the money that's being borrowed, with all these projects, again seeing the effects, Valentine, we just haven't felt the effects, which is why you look at our debt. I understand that President Buhari, Bloomberg picked this up yesterday. They said that he's asking for debt forgiveness. It wasn't really a direct quote, but they are claiming it. But Business Day has picked it up as well,
Debt
saying that
relief.
so
Not
debt
relief.
debt relief is okay. You take a loan and they'll give you some time to not pay it back, so that you get debt relief. Debt
Like
forgiveness,
the same moratorium that
yeah,
CBN gave
right.
because
That's
of
it.
COVID-19.
COVID
So
19.
that's a
Thank you.
relief.
That's relief. Say, okay, take off some time. You have to pay it back. You resume paying it back when you recover. If you Debt forgiveness is, hey, forget this money, take it and let it poof go into thin air.
Yes.
So they quoted him yesterday as saying, and I'm like, business did not say, oh god, this isn't how it works. First of all, because I think he was asking for relief, forgiveness from IMF, World Bank, AFDB. All those institutions have, like AFDB especially, they have shareholders. They almost run like commercial entities. They can't just,
That's African Development Bank.
yes, and all these other entities. The money can't just vanish. You have to pay it back.
Somehow.
Somehow. So again, he's using COVID-19 as the reason why. Okay, we need help. We have all these. We're strained. We're stressed.
Alas, COVID-19 is not unique to Nigeria.
It's not. Every other country, it's a record number of countries have asked IMF for Lebanon. Hey, you think Nigeria is bad? I don't know if anybody has looked into Lebanon. Lebanon is a mess.
Guy, how about Zimbabwe?
Oh
They're
my
going
goodness.
into
And
a
then
serious
Venezuela.
Venezuela. They're going into serious financial crisis now.
The Economist, if I was debating with some people, the Economist released this chart, emerging markets in the best shape moving forward. They use four metrics. I think debt to GDP, debt service to revenue. I can't remember the other two metrics, but we were ranked 14th. We were ranked ahead of Ghana, South Africa. Well, at the bottom of the so some people started debating that. Are you sure Nigeria should be ranked this high? We started going back and forth. But anyway, at the bottom of the ranking, Lebanon, Zimbabwe, and Venezuela. I mean, sometimes we think we're bad. Hey,
Bro, when I read the story about Zimbabwe and how they are getting very close to what they experienced the last time when the inflation levels pushed
right,
to a very high number.
uh-huh.
I remembered the conversation we had yesterday about borrowing, Nigeria borrowing from the IMF.
Right.
So those monies that are borrowed, especially the money we just borrowed recently,
Yes.
over 3 billion, is comes with conditions.
Well, no, so no,
Comes with the time for you to pay back.
yes, this one. So these are concessionary loans. This 3.4 billion we got from IMF. That one it's backed up by our what is that thing called? SDS.
Sovereign investment?
No,
there's not
special drawing rights.
Yes.
SDR, yeah.
For peculiar situations.
Right. So
like
the loan is only 1%. There's no real conditions attached to it. We pay back in 5 years. But
so
we
the
need
point
more money.
the point I was trying to make is Zimbabwe reneged on their
Yes, now
duties to
even
pay
Lebanon
back.
too. Lebanon
Exactly.
missed the
So
payment.
they missed
Hey,
that
God.
chance with IMF forever. They blacklisted them. So IMF, like you said yesterday, because
Yes.
I just remembered all the comments, all the conversations around it. How it is that IMF comes with no emotions. It's business. You want money, we give you. As far as you're paying your dues as a country, a
It's
member country.
straight. There's no.
So now I've given you, if you're given 5 years to pay back, if you miss
must
one
pay.
day,
Then you're in
that's the
soup. So Zimbabwe is in soup. Lebanon, hey, those are basket case countries. And see, what people have been saying is that look, Nigeria has to get our act together so we don't end up like them.
those ones.
But anyway, the point I was trying to make is that where have all this money we've been borrowing? It's mostly going to personnel costs for government and paying salaries. We haven't really felt it here. Like, okay, I know that this, because debt is not a bad thing. Debt can be good if it is used properly in order to spur infrastructure and all these other things.
But what's your definition of proper there? Is for projects projects that bring more money.
Okay, so look at the Jubilee Bridge. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what other infrastructure projects in my lifetime since I came back to Nigeria that I can really when Ambode commissioned it. I felt it when I'm driving and I cross over Ajah. I remember when there was no bridge there and it was just a roundabout and traffic would hold me up and it was just terrible.
Guess what that bridge is doing? It's improving businesses.
Yes.
So Sango Tedo, all those areas.
Exactly. So that is if Lagos State borrowed money for that bridge, I'm seeing what they borrowed it for, So it's affecting me positively.
Yes.
So that's what we need to see across the country. That okay, Nigeria has borrowed all this money,
and we're seeing it working.
Right. See Benga and Adeyinka and all those people asking how far this Lagos Ibadan thing is forever. It's like, yo, when are you going to be done with this thing? And so we need to see. The Nigerians need to see what you are borrowing all this money for. We need to feel the effects. And so far, just
in fact, there was this joke that was shared last week. I was having a conversation over the weekend with some friends, and he made a comment, reminiscing to the time when they were in school, how they used to come all the way from Benin to Lagos.
Right.
In less than 3 hours, they are back.
Yes, now.
They could actually come to Lagos to just buy something like
and
food,
then go back.
And then go back. And that was when the roads were good.
Good.
So between here and Ogun State, if people spend 3-4 hours in that traffic, it impedes a lot of business, successes, everything.
Everything is affected.
So
everything.
Bro,
shout out to Blessing says debt forgiveness. Are they charity organizations? Boo, please. No.
Ben says I think the delays in concluding the projects and inflationary tendencies will continue to increase the cost of completing government projects.
Exactly. Look at see what COVID-19. Thank you, Ben. See what COVID-19 did to construction. They're supposed to be removing those roundabouts on Lekki, but they haven't because construction had to take a break.
A break, yes.
These have to pay, as Ben is saying in his message, you have to pay these construction workers money. Inflation, devaluation affects what you're paying them. All these things add up to costs and they inflate them. Anyway, look, the money's back, and we just hope they follow through. And we'll see how far. So that's good news on that part. We managed to follow the rules, at least the rules that the USA and the Bailiwick of Jersey put out for the 311 million, the latest installment from the Abacha loot. See, yesterday, the I don't know if you saw the crowds and the queues at a number of banks with the lockdown being eased. It was a little troubling. People weren't following social distancing, and it was just. I mean, sitting here, I was wondering. I was like, why are there so many people rushing into all these banks. Don't you? What about the electronic
Transfers.
transactions? Look, and I think Cheta did a thread on it on Twitter yesterday, and I was talking to a couple of people, and this is Lagos, so where we are supposed to be ahead of the curve compared to the other 36 states in terms of electronic transactions and so on. It was troubling. The truth is that we are still very much a cash-based economy, and all the I don't know. It doesn't look like we're really moving forward with regards to the e-banking and electronic cashless transactions that we're supposed to be doing, because it really was alarming seeing so many people. Like in my mind, I was like, what are they rushing to the banks for? Is it to get cash? I mean, you can go to an ATM and get cash. Although this is a new month, so despite the layoffs, salary cuts, and so on and so forth, people still got paid. Some people still got paid salaries towards the end of April. So I guess with the long weekend and so on,
break.
yes, break, they were now going to banks to go and perhaps either cash paychecks or do some other things. But there's still a bit of work that has to be done with regards to getting us where we need to be with regards to electronic transactions. Even with the whole, we've talked about it here, the conditional cash transfers that were being given out, the COVID-19 assistance to a number of communities, that also collect data from these people and use these. Again, it was Winston Churchill or whoever that said, never let a good crisis go to waste. This is an opportunity to make advancements on these things, because and I think was it Business Day on Nairametrics? A couple of people reported on it, even some TV stations. The crowds were it was troubling, and they were not no distancing. They were just and again I repeat, Ghana, I think Germany, I think Georgia in the United States, every one of these nations that have eased the lockdown a little bit here and there, they have seen an increase in cases. So
Yes. Yes,
I don't know.
That's definitely going to happen. Yesterday, I was overwhelmed with fear, with worry for Nigerians, and how we're not observing social distancing, and how in the next 2 weeks, don't call me a doomsday prophet, but if we continue like this trend for another 3-4 days, we're in trouble.
The
We're in
numbers,
big
yeah,
soup.
it's a continue to rise.
So most of the crowds were blamed on poor network services, ATMs reporting system failure or systems unavailable. Most people complained that the USSD codes were not working. But yeah, I mean, everybody was just clinging to themselves. Everybody was touching each other. Most people were without masks.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Let's take
messages. Yeah, okay.
Emeka says, for Nigeria to earn debt forgiveness, they have to show seriousness in funds utilization, like downwards review of legislators and ministers' salaries.
Good point.
General portfolios. MI from Akoka says, Lagos Ibadan Expressway is like a white elephant project because that is Nigeria's favorite animal. COVID-19 is the new alibi for doing the Lord's work, SMH. So Lagosians, they form woke. But yesterday, we just gave the guy the updates.
He has more
those MCC numbers.
Thank you for that.
Because we saw numbers spike, as funny as that may sound. Terrence says, please root is
Terrence. No, they're not. Terrence is asking if one of Nigeria's tier 1 banks is folding up, and Blessing knows which bank that is. Shout out to Blessing. Blessing is asking if your bank is folding up because of all the news that has come out. No, they're not. So they're not folding up.
It came up with a report yesterday. I actually released a news bit saying that was false. That's not happening. But
Remika, we run out of time, but we see your message as well. Acknowledged to Remika. Thank you for your message.
Same with Dupe,
yes, thank you, and Benga. Thank you. So we continue tomorrow. So slightly good news. More than $311 million. Oil prices raised. And FX is coming down. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's about 410, and we're expected with another intervention from CBN next week. It should come down to 390s, 380s, hopefully. So FX2 is coming down. So but again, there's a side note to that, but I'll leave that alone till tomorrow.
Well, that was Business Express 91. John wrote us on Twitter at Rotan Quotes with a K in between.
Yes.
Go check out youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos if you missed any part of Business Express 91. Stay with us.